All right, today we're talking about transformations. And we're going to start with linear transformations, right? Linear means straight lines, right? First four letters of linear line. That's why these are all straight lines, right? No matter what we do to them. Well, our f of x is our linear parent function because the slope is 1 and the y-intercept is 0, right? This is like saying y equals x. Well, there's one x, so the slope is 1. There's no number out here, so our y-intercept is 0, right? And this is our dashed line on both of these graphs, right? It's a straight line right through the middle, slopes up 1 over 1, right? On both of these, up 1 over 1, right? So our most basic line is just y equals x. All right. And every other linear equation is actually, right? I was actually like born, I guess, off of this equation, right? Because this is the parent function. So all the other ones are transformed off of this, right? Well, there's only two ways to transform a linear function. We can either multiply, which changes the slope or the steepness, or we can add or subtract on the end, which is changing the y-intercept, right? So when we multiply, when we're multiplying a number times x, that's what changes our steepness. If the number is greater than 1, it makes it more steep, right? Like here, it's 2 times f of x. Well, now our slope is up 2 over 1, right? And 2f of x looks weird, but if f of x equals x, that means these are the same things. This really just means 2x. Well, yeah, it's 2x. There's no y-intercept. So my slope is up 2 over 1. Same thing here, 1 half f of x. Well, if our number is less than 1, it makes it less steep because now our slope is 1 half. So I go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, right? Again, if f of x equals x, this just means 1 half x. So again, multiplying just changes the slope. Bigger numbers make it steeper, smaller numbers make it shallower, right? And a negative causes it to reflect over the x-axis. So instead of having a positive slope, well, now it's got a negative slope. All right, so negative f of x just means negative x. So it's going down. It could be negative 2x. Well, then it would be steep and negative, or negative 1 half. Well, then it'd be flat, flatter and negative, right? But the negative just flips it over the x-axis. Well, adding or subtracting changes the y-intercept, right? Because this part out here is the y-intercept. So it shifts the graph up or down the y-axis. Well, yeah, if it's going plus 3 moves instead of being at 0, our y-intercept is now positive 3. This is really just x plus 3. And f of x minus 5. Well, if f of x and x are the same thing, this is really just x minus 5. Right? Our y-intercept is negative 5, but our slope is still the same. All right, but most of the time we're changing the slope and changing the y-intercept. But in reality, all right, multiplying changes the slope, adding and subtracting changes the y-intercept. Let's do a couple practice ones in the back, and then I'll have you pause the video and do the rest on your own. All right, we're gonna do a couple in each section. All right, so if I'm multiplying 3f of x, well, that makes this more steep. All right, this is going to be, instead of our slope being 1, now our slope is 3. Okay. And we say by a factor of 3. I'm going to say by 3. And I'm going to do this one right below it. Multiplying by 2 makes it more steep. And subtracting 3 on the outside, I'm going to say shifts down 3. All right. If I have negative 3 f of x, the negative, right, reflects it over the x-axis, reflects. The 3 makes it more steep. And adding 2 moves it up 2. All right, lots of things going on. Each of those parts does something different. And a lot of you are like, yeah, but negative 3 is less than 1. But remember, the negative is its own thing. The negative reflects it. And then 3 makes it more steep. Now, let's look at it. If I have negative 3 as my slope, well, that means instead of I go down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1. Right? Well, yeah, it got more steep. Right? The negative means that it's going down, but 3 means the slope is down 3 over 1. It still is getting more steep. All right, so don't think of it as negative 3. Think of the negative reflects it, and the 3 makes it more steep. Well, now I give you the description, And can you write the transformation? Let's just pick a random one. Let's say I pick steeper by a factor of 3. So if I'm making it more seedings, we're multiplying. So that's going to be 3 f of x. All right, let's say less steep by 1/3 and up 7. So to get less steep, so that's going to be 1/3. All right, multiplying changes the steepness. And up 7 means I got to add 7 on the outside. Let's do one more. Reflected and shifted down. Reflected means I gotta make it negative. The steepness did not change. So it's just regular f of x, but down 2 means it's -2. Okay. So, all right, linear stuff. I feel like we got linear. Linear is pretty easy. Oh, multiplying changes the slope, changes how steep it is. Adding or subtracting changes the y-intercept, just moves it up or down. And adding moves it up, subtracting moves it down. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That's pretty obvious. So I want you to pause the video and let everybody finish up this side. And then I want you to check with your partner next to you. Make sure you got the same things. All right. Then once everyone's done, you can check as a group, call some people just random problems, and then unpause the video. We'll talk about quadratics. So again, pause the video now. All right, so now we're going to talk about quadratic transformations. Well, quadratics, there's a little more to it. All right, so we got these parentheses, all right? Our parent function is f of x equals x squared. All right. Well, I can affect stuff inside parentheses or outside the parentheses, right? Everything on the outside is a vertical change, and it tells the truth. Right. So multiplying on the outside will make it either skinnier or wider, and adding on the outside, right? Adding on the outside moves it up. That makes sense. All right, adding moves it up. Yeah, subtracting on the outside moves it down, right? So +4 on the outside of my parentheses moves it up. -4 outside of my parentheses moves it down. But everything inside the parentheses is a horizontal change, and it's lying to me, right? Everything inside is a lie. When I'm horizontal, I'm lying down. That's how I remember, right? When I'm horizontal, I'm lying down side to side. So adding on the inside actually makes it go left, right? X +4, instead of being at 0, our vertex is now at +4. Subtracting on the inside actually moves it to the right. X -4 in my parentheses moved it to the right. So everything inside does the opposite of what I expect. So it's a lie. And again, multiplying by negative. Well, that's the same things it did at the top. It just reflects it over the x-axis. So instead of going up here, it's the same spot, just on the opposite side of my x-axis. All right, numbers greater than 1 make it skinnier. All right, so 4f of x, right? It is skinnier, right? Same thing up here. Like when it's a bigger number, it's getting closer and closer to our y-axis. So multiplying by a big number makes it more steep. Well, same thing here, right? It's not a straight line, so it's not the slope, but it's the same idea. Bigger numbers make it more and more closer to the y-axis. Smaller numbers, less than 1, make it wider. Or they're getting flatter, just like our small numbers made this flatter, getting closer, closer to our x-axis. Well, small numbers here making it wider and wider. It's getting closer and closer to our x-axis. So again, multiplying changes the width. Just like multiplying changes the steepness. It's kind of the same idea. They're pretty parallel, right? So multiplying changes the steepness. Bigger numbers get skinnier, smaller numbers get wider. And again, the negative just means that it's flipped. If it was -2, it'd be upside down and skinnier. Or if it was -1/4, it'd be upside down but wider because 1/4 is smaller than 1. So remember, look, the negative flex it, then look at just the number. All right. Adding on the inside makes it go left. Subtracting on the inside makes it go right. Because the inside lies. It is the opposite of what I think. Right? So it's that +4, but that actually means it's -4. This is that -4 means it's actually +4. So they're the opposite. Outside tells the truth. +4 makes it go up. That makes sense. Subtracting 4 makes it go down. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. But again, rarely is it just one thing being transformed. There's typically multiple transformations happening. Let's flip it over and practice a couple before you do the rest. All right, I'm gonna pick this one right here. The multiplying by 1/3. 1/3 is less than 1, so I'm gonna say it gets wider. And then -5 is inside my parentheses, so the inside lies. All right, so -5 actually moves it to the right. 5, because in my head, negatives are to the left. The inside lies, so I got to move it this way. All right, so I'm going to do this one right here. All right, +1 on the inside. Inside lies, so that's actually left 1. Outside tells the truth, so -4 is down 4, right? Inside's horizontal, and it lies. Outside's vertical and tells the truth. Let's do one more. All right, so this one right here, negative. Well, that reflects it across the x-axis. +2. Well, that's inside, so it's lying. So left 2. +8. Outside tells the truth. So it tells the truth, so it's up 8. So let's do a couple down here. All right, I'm gonna pick a random one. Let's pick this one. So I'm gonna go right 5 and up 4. Well, to the right, it's gonna be inside. And to the right, it's gonna be -5. All right, because the inside lies. Up 4, outside tells the truth. So +4. Now let's have him do this one. Wider by 2/5. When I'm changing the width, that means I'm multiplying. All right, and up 3. Well, everything up is vertical, so it's got to be outside. So there's nothing inside my parentheses. It's just +3. Let's do one more. Narrower by 3. It's getting narrower. That means I'm multiplying by a number, right? Bigger than 1. Right 4. Everything inside lies. So right 4 is actually -4. Outside tells the truth. So up 1 is +1. All right, so this part's gonna be a little trickier. Make sure you slow down, take your time, check with your neighbor, check with your table, and then like share out as a class. Like, hey, what'd you get for this one? And like really check these, okay? All right, guys, good luck.